Hello everyone. In my last video, we discussed about what is function, why it is used, when to use functions, how to use functions, and definition for function, syntax and access specifier, return type, method name, parameters, method body, access modifier. All these concepts we discussed in my last video. If you are not aware of these concepts, please go and watch my last video. I will give link in the description. Now come to today topic. Today's topic is types of functions and with the simple syntax and examples. Okay. Based on function syntax, we have four types of functions. We have four types of functions. Okay. First one, without return type, without parameters. Without return type, with parameters. Third one, with the return type, without parameters. Fourth one, with the return type, with the parameters. Next, general syntax for a function: access specifier, access modifier, return type, function name, parameters, and open close flower bracket. Inside of a flower bracket only we are going to write function body. This is a function declaration part. Okay, if you are writing a function, you have to get the syntax for a function. First one, we have to give you access specifier. Access specifier, there are four types of access specifiers: public, private, protected, and default. Those are the four access specifiers. Access modifiers: static, non-static, and final. Those are the access modifiers. Return type: wide, int, float, char. Those are the return types. And function name, based on the functionality of a function, we have to give the name for a function. Okay. Parameters: if there is any parameters we are going to use inside a function body, we have to provide a parameters, otherwise keep the parenthesis as empty. First you have to good in theory, then only you can write and program very easily. Okay. Why to use public, why to use static, why to use wide, when to use int data type. Okay, all these things I explained in my last video. Please go and watch. Okay. Now example for a function, simple example for a function. Okay. Public is an access specifier. We can access from any package to any package, from any class to any class. Static is a keyword. This is a static function. We can call it is created a copy per class. I will explain copy per class, copy per object in my next video. That comes under core java part. Okay. Wide, we are not returning any returning value, so that's why we were given void as an return type. Add, inside of a function body we are going to add two numbers, so that's why I was given add as a function name. I am not going to pass any parameters, so that's why I kept parenthesis as an empty. Instead of flower bracket I am going to do operations, which is nothing but in function body. Okay, now we created a function, static function. Okay, how to call that function, how to use that function? By using a function call. Okay, we have to call a function by using function name. Here the function name is add, so that's why add is a function name, and there is no parameters list, so that's why I was kept parenthesis as an empty, and then ended with a semicolon. We are calling a function, right? So that's why this is an function icon or symbol. Open and close parenthesis is a function symbol or icon. Which function we are calling? Add function we are calling, so that's why function add, function add we are calling. This is a function call. Now look at the first one: without return type, without parameters. Without return type means we have to provide return type as void and leave the parenthesis as empty. Without return type, we have to provide return type as void. If we are not returning any value from the function body, we have to give void as a return type. If we are not provide any data type, if there is no returning value, there is an compile time error will come. Okay, and leave the parenthesis as empty. If we are not providing any parameters, so that's why we have to keep the parenthesis empty. Okay, the syntax is like this: access specifier, access modifier. Why it is then return type? Why? Because there is no returning value, and then function name, and then parameters, parenthesis as empty. There is no parameters to pass. So that's why. Okay. See the example. Public is an access specifier, access modifier is static, void is a return type, add is a function name, and there is no parameters in the parentheses. This is a function declaration. This is a function body. Okay. Int a equal to 10, int b equal to 20, int c equal to a plus b. Here a, b, c is in variables and memory is located for a, b and c. In a memory location 10 is stored, b location 20 is stored, in c location a plus b 30 gets stored. Okay, print c value. Printing statement for Java is system.out.println. Inside of a parenthesis we have to print C. Okay, just we have to give C. If we gave like within double quotes C, it is a string. It is not printed the value of C, it printed as C as an output. Okay, so that's why you have to give without double quotes. Calling a function. How to call a function? This is a static method, so we have to call and there is no parameter, so that's why we have to call with then function name and then with the function icon or symbol parenthesis ended with the semicolon. Okay, look the second one. Without return type with parameters. Okay, without return type means we have to provide return type as void and parameters in parentheses. Okay, syntax is like access specifier, access modifier, void, function name, and then inside parentheses we have to provide parameters. Okay, and flower brackets open and close the function bodies. And then see the example. Public is an access specifier, static is an access modifier, void is an return type, add is an function name, and then int a comma int b, these are the parameters list. Okay, parameter list. Int a, int is a data type, a is a variable name. Okay, we can give how much we want. Int c also we can provide not only the same data type, string name also we can provide. Okay, different data types also we can give. Inside I was given int c and storing addition of a and b and printing value a plus b, which is c. Okay, how to call this function? In first one there is no parameters, so that's why we called as add of function. Correct, right? Here we have parameters, two parameters, integer parameters. You have to understand there isn't two parameters, integer parameters. Okay, so that's why we have to call a function with function name, add is in function name, and open and close parenthesis we have to pass value for that integer value. Okay, 10, 20, those are the integer values I am passing, and stores a memory location 10 gets stored and b memory location 20 gets stored. Okay, and inside of your add method there is an int c, memory gets located for c and stored a plus b value into that c location and printed c value. Okay, what is the c value? That is in c. Look at the third one. With the return type without parameters. Okay, with the return type means we have to provide return types such as int, float, byte based on the returning value. If we are returning string value, we have to give return type as string. If we are returning integer value, we have to give return type as integer, int. If we are returning char as a returning value, we have to give char as a return type. Okay, and then without return type, without parameters, right? So that's why leave the parentheses as empty. Okay, see the syntax. Access specifier, access modifier, int, string, char, and so on. We can give here return type based on the returning value. And then function name, open and close parenthesis. Here the parenthesis empty. Why? Because there is no parameters. Okay, within flower brackets we are going to provide the body for the function, and here the return keyword is must and should. Why? Because here we are written not int string char, which is nothing but an return data type, returning value data type. So that's why if we are not written here return keyword, it throws an compile time error. Okay, must and should you have to write a return semicolon. If you are returning some value, return and give some value ended with semicolon. If you are not returning any value but you used here return type as int string char other than why, you must and should write here return ended with semicolon. Okay, now for a general example I will give. Okay, you are asking something to your mom. Okay, your mother is giving to you something like biscuit. Okay, you are asking something to your mother is giving biscuit. One, you have to take that biscuit, otherwise you have to ignore that one. Correct, right? You have to take that one, otherwise you have to ignore. Like that only we are calling a function if that function is an returning value function. That function is returning some value, we have to receive that value or ignore that value. If we want to ignore that value, you just call by using function name. If we want to use that one, we have to store into a variable. Okay, see the simple example for return type without parameters. Return type, now you understand, right? What is return type? If you ask something to your mom is giving biscuit to you. One, you have to take that biscuit or you have to ignore that one. Like that only you are calling a function. If that function is returning some value, you have to receive that the value or ignore that value. Okay, here I was created a class name as return with return type and a open close parent flower bracket. This is the whole class body. Okay, public static int add method, this is our user defined function. Okay, okay, int a equal to 10, int b equal to 20, int c equal to a plus b, system.out.println of c. Here we are storing, not storing, here we are printing c value. Okay, what is c value? 30 is c value, and we are returning 30 c value. Okay, this is an user defined function with the parameter, sorry, with the return type without parameter. Okay, this is a main method. Here the execution of a java program starts. System.out.println, here one printing statement, program started. Int result equal to add function. Observe carefully, this is a function call, right? Add function. The parenthesis is empty. Why? Because there is no parameters list in the function. So that's why I was given int result, because here we are returning some value, right? One, we have to receive that value, otherwise ignore that value. First we are returning, sorry, receiving that value. If we receive that value, we have to store into the same data type variable. Okay, here we are returning integer, so that's why here I used integer as a returning variable. Okay, if I return here float, I have to change here float as a data type. Based on this returning value only, the data type of a returning variable based. Okay, here the return type is int, so that's why I was given int as a return type, sorry, data type for that return result variable. I call this function. First the output is like this. Just 1 second. The execution of a java program starts from main method. First the printing statement, program started, gets printed. Okay, next it goes and call this function, add function. Here is a memory gets located, b memory gets located, and c memory gets located, and stored a value 10 plus 20, 30 gets stored, and printed 30 as by using that function, and then return some value 30, and that 30 value comes here and stores into a result variable. In result variable we have 30. Okay, now result equal to 30 gets printed, and then program ended gets printed. Now you understand? The Java program execution starts from main method. The first one is a printing statement. Program started gets printed, and then here the function gets called. And first one, A gets memory located, B memory gets located, C memory gets located. Addition of two variables. A 10 plus 20, 30 gets stored into C memory location, and printed 30 gets printed and exit from the function, user defined function. But it returning some value. First case, we are receiving that value and stored into a result variable. The data type of a result variable is int. Why? Here the returning value is int, so that's why we give an int as an return type. The next line, we are printing that result variable value 30 gets printed, and then system.out.println, and we are giving one more printing statement, program ended. Okay. Fourth one, with the return type with the parameters. Okay. With the return type means we provide return types such as int, float, byte based on the returning value. If we are returning string value, we have to give return type as string. If we are returning char value, we have to give return type as char data type. And parameters in parentheses. Okay, syntax is like this. Access specifier, access modifier, int, string, char, those are the data types based on the returning value, and function name parameters. This is a function declaration. Within flower brackets, we are going to write the function body, and then after completion of the function body, we have to give return some value. If we are not returning any value, but here we return some int, string, char other than y data type, we must and should give return ended with a semicolon. Okay, otherwise it throws compile time error. Okay, if we were given return type other than void, we must and should give return ended with a semicolon, must and should in the body of a function. Okay, now look at the example for return type with the parameters, with the return type with the parameters. Okay, this is an with the return type with the parameters class. Okay, with the parameters. Yes. Okay, now this is an user defined function. Here public is an access specifier, static is an access modifier, int is a return type. It is based on the returning value of a function body. Okay, and then add is a function name, int a is an parameter list, int b is also a parameter. There is a two parameters. Okay, inside of a function body, I was declared int c and adding a plus b, which is taking the values from the parameters. Okay, that is passing from the function, not inside the function body. Okay, here I am printing c value and I am returning c value. Okay, now come to main method, public static void main method. This is an main method for a Java program. Program execution starts from main method. In first line, I was given one printing statement, program started, int result. All we know, if we are returning some value, one, we have to receive that value, otherwise ignore that value. Here I am receiving that value, int, sorry, int result equal to add of 10 comma 20. I am passing 10 comma 20 integer value, calling add function. Okay, 10 is stored into a variable, 20 gets stored into b variable. Okay, if I am not given this int result variable, as of now hide this one also, remove this one. Just the program gets called and executed. First program started gets executed, and this function goes and called this add function 10 20. A gets stored at 10, b stores 20 value, and inside int c equal to a plus b. In c it stores 30 value and printed 30. It is returning 30 value, but we are not receiving, so that's why there is no use. Correct, right? So that's why we are storing that returning value into a result variable. After completion of this function execution, it comes here again, it comes into main function, and result variable stores 30 value as a result, and system.out.println we are printing result equal to result value is 30, and then printing program ended. Okay, this is about types of functions with simple examples. In my next video, I will explain function execution memory with simple examples. Thank you for watching this video. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and click the bell icon also.